Welcome to the Brew Crew Review Podcast, the show by fans for fans of your Milwaukee Brewers. All right, Brewer fans, we're here with another Brew Crew Review Podcast. With me, of course, is Scott and Vince. Hey, fellas.
Hey.
Hey, Craig. How are you, man?
We're doing all right.
Hey, Craig. Do we have Chad on?
I don't believe so. I have no idea.
Yes.
Definitely got the invite out, but not sure if he's signed in or not. So, but on this episode, what we're going to be talking about is bringing back one of the old Brew Crew Review segments from our television show, and that's the top 30 feature brewers. Our minor league analyst, Brandon, is semi-retired, but he did put together 30 players for us to go over. The organization will talk a little bit about the farm system, but before we get into that, Vince is going to lead us off talking a little bit about even one of the things that the Brewer Review used to do many times. I'd go on a minor league road trip to see one of the Brewers affiliates. I think this time he took an airplane, but
yeah.
With that being
Hey,
said,
guys.
The San Antonio Mission, you were able to catch a game, and you can tell us all about it.
Yeah, sorry about the audio difficulty there, guys. You guys cut out here for a second. Anyways, I just got back from San Antonio. Was able to see a Missions game. It was a really good experience. Wanted to go to the game on Wednesday night. It ended up being rained out, so I went to the doubleheader on Thursday night, and San Antonio swept the doubleheader, so that was pretty exciting. Got a chance to talk to Keston Hira, got a chance to talk to Troy Stokes. It was, overall a great experience. Nice field. The Missions, it was kind of funny when I was flying back to Washington from San Antonio on Friday morning. The guy from the TSA, after I got patted down, he was like, "Oh, nice Brewers cap, man. We're really glad to have you guys here this year." So it's kind of funny because the community is paying attention to what's going on with the Missions.
Awesome.
And, of course, if Brewer fans aren't aware, the San Antonio is our AAA affiliate for the very first time this year. We were previously in Colorado Springs for the last many years, and then many years before that, we were in the Nashville Sounds. And, of course, back in the Brew Crew Review day, we visited Nashville several times interviewing Brewers back in the day. But, what was it like being back in a minor league baseball game? I know you mentioned it was the first time you were to one in a while. And for fans that have Brewer fans that possibly have never gone to a minor league game, like what's the experience, the difference in experience of a major league game and a minor league game?
Well, as hokey as this is going to sound, to me it is just such like a classic piece of Americana when you go to a ballpark in San Antonio that doesn't have a major league team, or even smaller cities throughout the country, and you really get to be close to the players. They're walking out to a parking lot that's like right outside the stadium, where they're seated right next to the seating bowl. Lots of interactions. You've got some crazy giveaways and mascots running around, even more so than the major leagues. So it's just kind of a different experience. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, it was great to be back. It was the first minor league game that I'd gone to in several seasons, and I think the last time was with you guys. I know that a few of us hit up a Wisconsin Timber Rattlers game years ago, like 10 years ago, and before that our trips to Nashville and Charleston and Huntsville. But yeah, this was the first one in a while, and just hadn't had the opportunity to go much, but I'm planning on going again. At some point this season, I'd like to get up. There's a few minor league teams that are fairly close to me in both. There's one in Richmond, there's one in North Maryland as well. So even if they're not Brewers affiliates, I definitely plan on getting back out to see a minor league at some point again this summer.
So Vince, if our fans don't know, I mean, Nashville and Colorado Springs, those are just wonderful cities. But at the time that the Brewers were playing there, they were literally two of probably the worst stadiums in all of minor league baseball. How does the Mission Stadium stack up?
Well, it actually reminded me a lot of the old stadium in Nashville. So maybe not the best, but I personally really liked it. So if that makes any sense. It was old school. It had a little bit of an older facade to it. You could tell that maybe it wasn't built in the last 20, 30 years, but I really, really enjoyed it. It was a stadium that has a lot of unique features. So when you think about like Scott, you'll like this. The concession stands were not busy at all. They were having $1 hot dog night though, and they had unique like Texas themed food items, which you would have thoroughly enjoyed, like the foot-long corn dogs and things that you might find in Texas at their state fair. So no, it was great, guys. It was a great experience. Wish you guys could have made it. Certainly brought back a lot of great memories of our previous road trips together.
The thing I love about minor league games is it seems like everyone there is just loves baseball, and that's why they're there. I mean, for the most part, even the players that are there that are there because they love baseball. Some of them are guys that are getting paid very little and possibly have no prospects of actually making the major leagues, but are still there. And then everyone else, are trying to fulfill their dream of making it into the show. And
that's right. Yeah, no, Craig, you're exactly right. And one example of that from my recent trip to San Antonio was Nate Orff's whole family was there, and I ended up talking to both to Nate and to his mom and to his grandma and grandpa, and they were all there to support him, and it was really cool. And just talking to them, no one in that family was under any illusion about the fact that Nate may or may not get another call or another chance to play in the big leagues. And I think the general consensus was that, hey, if it happens, great. If not, he got at least the chance to appear in the majors, even hit a home run last year, and he's gone a lot further than most players. So it was pretty cool just having those very real conversations with, players and their families. And you're right, it was a very supportive environment from a bunch of people that really, truly love the game of baseball. So, there's something very special about the minor leagues. It definitely was very apparent to me that, it's a place where people who are passionate about the game, who may not ever play in the big leagues, are still there, loving the game, playing every day. So yeah, it was a great experience.
Well, and not only that, I mean, obviously, Milwaukee has done a pretty good job of making their stadium and their prices fan-friendly and family-friendly for that matter. But there's a lot of stadiums where, I mean, if you want to bring a family of four, like, you're going to drop some serious coin to be able to go to a game. And I think that's one of the things that really is the allure to minor league baseball. Not only is it, potentially in your hometown city, like a smaller community potentially, but not only that, but it's something where, you can still, get the whole family and come together and go, out to a game together and still have affordable family fun.
Yeah. And I was kind of curious as to the prices. I didn't really go out there needing to spend only a certain amount on a ticket or anything like that, but I just wanted to see what was available. And they told me that there were lawn seats available for, I think it was $5 or $6, where you could go watch the game sitting on the grass behind the field, just like you would in Maryvale for spring training. I thought that was just awesome. I ended up paying, I think it was $13 or something to sit right down the third baseline. So I was like, we had actually really good seats. And it was great. So even for that price point, you're talking about, what is it, like half of the cost of a Terrace Reserve ticket at Miller Park if there's no promotion. And not to mention that they probably have a bunch of promotions that they were running that I just didn't even know about, or, maybe if you bought something in the area from a restaurant, you might get a free ticket. There was, tons of promotions going on, and they gave me a coupon for like two free slices of pizza from a local gas station just for buying a ticket, which, it's just little stuff like that. There's always promotions going on in minor league baseball. So for any of our listeners who are, living somewhere nearby in a minor league town and haven't taken the time to go, I would definitely recommend it. And, we're of course a Brewers related podcast. So, we should actually repeat for the listeners, the Brewers AAA team is of course in San Antonio. But we've got minor league affiliates throughout the country. So, if you're listening to this and you're a Brewers fan that lives nearby Appleton, Wisconsin, for instance, and you want to see the Brewers A-ball team, would highly, highly recommend it.
Yeah, not a Brewers affiliate per se, but Lakeshore Chinooks is definitely hop, skip, and a jump for most people in suburbia Milwaukee. So that's always a good time too.
Yeah, it's true. And, and guys, one other quick observation that I'm just remembering right now that is a little bit different than the majors. I saw Corbin Burns, who of course was just recently with the Brewers at the big league level, with a notepad and a clipboard and sitting in the stands just scouting for the team essentially. So he was there. He wasn't in uniform. walked out right next to him. It was pretty cool just how interactive with the fans that they are. And all these guys were great. I saw a number of the guys all signing autographs for kids. Jacob Nottingham took the time to sign, Mauricio Dupont. All these guys were really good signers, including Castanera. And by the way, a major power display in the first game. Got a chance to see home runs from Nate Orff. I think there was 4 or 5 home runs in the game. So yeah, it was an exciting night of baseball.
Yeah, that lineup is absolutely stacked too. I think I saw in the preseason something like this is of all levels of all minor league baseball. That right there is a top 10 team. So.
Yeah, no, and it's cool because when you're at the AAA level, at least you are seeing guys with extensive big league experience or guys you may recognize from playing in the big leagues. Again, even like a guy like Nate Orff, not a household name necessarily, but is a guy who's played in the big leagues. And it's cool because you can see these guys in a much more laid-back environment. One of the guys that pitched in Game 2 of the doubleheader was Donnie Hart, who was with the Brewers a week ago, who, if you were paying for a seat like I did and you were watching him pitch in the majors, you were probably paying like $75 to watch pitch 1 week ago. I got to see for like under $15 in AAA the next week. So pretty cool.
I agree with everything you guys said. Definitely. And, you know, the promotion they run even between innings make it a lot of interactive fun for kids, and everyone contest, lots of, you know, chance to win things and all that stuff. So, yeah, you got to check it out if you haven't been to a minor league game.
Yeah, one of the promotions, and Scott, again, I think this one is right up your alley. You could purchase from vendors who were selling this, like the vendors sell 50-50 raffle tickets at Miller Park. They were selling like a little ball type of thing, and you got a bag, and there was like 3 or 4. And then after the game, they brought out this like machine on the field that had a funnel at the top. And if you threw your ball and you got it inside this funnel, this basket, you won, I think, free tickets and free food and all this stuff. So it was kind of a cool promotion. So after the game, everybody's like chucking stuff at the field. It's just part of their promotion. It was pretty funny. I didn't do it because I was taking a picture of the mascots that were dressed like tacos for you at the time, Scott. But otherwise, I totally would have. Or burritos, sorry.
Well, it definitely sounds like fun.
And it's cool because with the press passes and things down in the minor leagues are also a lot more loose. It's just, you know, you've got a lot of access to the players, and I think it's really great as long as you're not drinking in the press box. But you've got a different mentality even amongst like the reporters. You're never going to find someone like our colleague Tom Hodgecourt who, you know, is treating you like a jerk. It's not as territorial. It's just not at that sort of cutthroat level as Tom and, you know, Big Bad Milwaukee. But anyway, yeah, it was a really great experience overall.
All right. Well, with all that being said, we're going to get to our segment now, our top 30 future Brewers. And these are our minor league analyst, Brandon's top 30 current Brewer prospects in the minor league. So I'm going to start at 30 and go down to our end with our top overall prospect, and we'll talk a little bit about some of them, kind of the overall state of our farm system. So without much further ado, I will go over those players. And I'm going to mention what, besides their position they play, what affiliate they're at as well. So our 30th overall prospect that's going in the 2019 season is Felix Valerio. He's in rookie ball. He was acquired one of the players in the Keon Broxton trade. Number 29, left-handed pitcher Cameron Rogner. He's at rookie ball. Number 28, Pablo Abreu. He's also at rookie ball. He's an outfielder. Number 27, outfielder Javon Ward. He's at A ball with the Timber Rattlers. Number 26, shortstop Eduardo Garcia. He's at rookie ball. He's only 16 years old. He's one of those guys that have a really high ceiling, so expect him to be higher on this list and our next upcoming updates. But definitely someone look for. 25th, we've got outfielder Micah Bello, our former third-round pick. He's still at rookie ball. Number 24, third baseman Chad McClanahan. He's also at single A Appleton, Wisconsin. And number 23, we've got outfield Tyrone Taylor, who's also our AAA affiliate with the Missions. 22, right-handed pitcher Adam Hill. He's at single A.
He came over in the Broxton trade too, right?
Yes, he was also part of the Broxton trade, and I expect him to really have improvements. And number 21, right-handed pitcher Caden Lemons. He's at rookie ball, and our rookie ball affiliate are called the Rocky Mountain Vibes. They're our new affiliate this year. 20th overall, Jake Gatewood. He's at AA, first baseman. 19th, we've got right-handed pitcher Marcos Diplan. He's at AA still. He was part of the Giovanni Gallardo trade that also landed as Corey Knable. 18, we've got Trent Grisham, formerly Trent Clark, and formerly a first-round draft pick. He's at AA. He was drafted out of high school. He's now 22, so he's getting close to the majors. Number 17, we've got right-handed pitcher Drew Rasmussen. He's at High A, Carolina.
Hey, Craig, is Drew the one that our anonymous source Tom Carter really enjoys?
Yes, he is actually. In fact, really high. I think Drew will be a future top 5 Brewer prospect at some point if he stays within the organization, because he actually was. I think the Brewers got him in the 5th round of the 2018 draft, and he was injured senior year of college, and the Brewers were able to get him from the Oregon Beavers in the 5th round, even though he was projected to be a first-round pick. So definitely looking for out of good things. He also off to an awesome start this year so far in the minor league. So definitely,
and that's why
go ahead.
That's why
check out Drew Rasmussen if you get a chance.
Yeah, and that's why our anonymous source Tom Carter likes him. That's right.
Oh boy. You always have to say TC, guys.
Oops. Sorry.
Try to keep that in mind.
Oops.
All righty. Here we go. Halfway through the list, I believe. Number 16, outfielder Carlos Rodriguez at rookie ball. Number 15, right-handed pitcher Adrian Hauser, who just made his major league debut. He's back at AAA, though. Didn't go last Monday.
Just his major league debut as a starter. He had pitched in the bullpen before, I think, right?
That's correct. They switched him back to the starting pitching down in San Antonio early this year. And so, yeah, I don't know if they're experimenting, but he couldn't find his way to feature back into the bullpen. But for now, they had him starting, and he did make his major league debut with the Brewers as a starter. So, yeah, he's someone who could obviously play a factor in the 2019 Brewers. And a lot of the players coming up here on the list are really on the cusp of the majors and really could help out even this year. So, 14, we've got right-handed pitcher Trey Sopek, who came over to us in a trade from the Pirates a couple of years ago. He's at AA Biloxi. 13, right-handed pitcher Braden Webb. He's also at AA Biloxi. 12, catcher Peyton Henry. He's at High A. Another catcher at 11 is catcher Jake Nottingham. He made his major league debut last season with the Brewers. He's with San Antonio. 10, here we go with the top 10 Brewer prospects now. 10, we've got someone who Vince just met, outfielder Troy Stokes Jr. He's, of course, at AAA San Antonio. Number 9.
Yeah, and as a quick side note, Troy's an awesome guy. But I was just going to say, Troy and I had a really nice conversation. He's a really down-to-earth, very good guy. I think that the fans in Milwaukee, if he is called up at some point, hopefully this year or next year, are going to be pleasantly surprised by what they get both defensively, offensively, and just character-wise with Troy.
That's awesome to hear, and that's great inside information. And yeah, he's doing well. He won. Obviously, you saw him with a photo on our Twitter feed with his award from last season as a Gold Glove award, and he's doing good.
Yep.
Well this year. So
yeah,
number 9.
Actually, I was just going to say really quick too. Offensively, he's having a great year so far. Obviously, it's early on in the season, but he's batting over 300 this year, and still looks great in the outfield as well. So yeah. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of him. Third base, Lucic Sig at AAA also this year. Number 8, we've got Joe Gray, an outfielder at rookie ball. Number 7 overall Brewer prospect, Mauricio Dubon, in AAA also. Vince got a chance to see him as well. Number 6 overall, left-handed pitcher, Aaron Ashby. He's at single A with the Timber Rattlers. He's the former son of Andy Ashby, former major leaguer. Just a little tidbit. I really like him. Number 5th overall, we've got outfielder Christian Lutz. He's at High A, Carolina. Number 4 overall Brewer prospect, outfielder Corey Ray at AAA also. Number 3 overall Brewer prospect, Zach Brown, right-handed pitcher at AAA. And number 2, last year's first-round draft pick, shortstop Bryce Terang. He's at the Timber Rattlers. And then our number 1 overall Brewer prospect, and we just gave him the moniker of Batzilla, and that is Keston Hiura, AAA second baseman, who I think is going to have a long and illustrious major league career.
And hey,
so there
guys,
you have it. Top 30 future Brewers, guys.
Yeah, nice job, Craig and Brandon, but and Tom Carter. But for what it's worth, Keston Hiura looked outstanding when I saw him this week in San Antonio. I know some were concerned with the strikeout numbers so far this year, but I can tell you that seeing him play for the first time in person this past week, the guy was tattooing the ball. He had gap power to several sides of the field. He was quite impressive. So he's definitely a guy that I'm very excited to see play in Milwaukee.
I mean, I really feel that he has shown. He was actually named the MVP of the Arizona Fall League last year. That's quite, I mean, those guys are all almost major league ready players. Competition that he plays against, and again, it's only a 2-month league, but wow, I mean, I really feel that he has the talent to be a perennial all-star at the Major League Baseball level. And I don't want to oversell it, but I mean, he's definitely within the top 20 overall prospects in baseball, and I really just feel his hit tool will carry him quite a long ways.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it seems like scouts are in agreement on his hit tool. Defensively, I think he's answered a lot of questions too. There was some questions because he had not played a ton of defenses last year, his junior or senior year of college because of an injury. But it seems to me like he can stick at second base. And I don't mean this as a cut on Mike Moustakas, but if a guy like Moustakas is defensively able to play second, I think a guy like Hiura, who's now been playing it for 3 seasons in the minor leagues, is definitely going to be able to make those adjustments to the big league level as well.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder if he didn't have that injury, if he would have even fell to us by the time we were able to draft him, because at the time that we drafted him, he was still considered the most polished bat in the draft, I believe. And, to look at it and say, well, there were so many questions with his glove, and the Brewers took a chance on him, and then so far it's really paid dividends.
Yeah, I remember not being really high on the pick at the time just because I wasn't sure. I thought he could hit over 300, but I really didn't think he had too much speed, and I thought his power would be limited. And not only that, but his defensive, going in the draft, his defensive home was very much in question. And obviously being an NL team without a DH, I was a little bit concerned, but he's pretty much proved me completely wrong. He really looks like he's going to be a great player.
Yeah, no, it's exciting, guys, to have a guy like him in our system. So I think that if I had to guess, Hiura's service clock, of course, is an issue for a team like the Brewers. I would think that maybe, though, after that is no longer a factor this year, sometime in June, perhaps, we might see him called up. We had called up Tyler Saladino for part of the week last week. So it wouldn't surprise me if going forward after the time clock runs out, the Brewers won't lose another year of his services going forward, that we'll see Hiura called up in situations like that. I'd be shocked if he didn't make his big league debut at some point this season.
No, I agree with that. I think he will, and hopefully get back there and a playoff run for us. But, I mean, the rest of the guys in the top 10, looking at my list here, we've got a lot of guys on the cusp of the majors that could, if they don't have a spot open for them, they could also be very valuable trade chips at the trade deadline this year. And besides Hiura, who we hopefully likely will keep, There's Zach Brown, right-handed pitcher. There's Corey Ray, an outfielder who's definitely near ready. Mauricio Dubon has already played a little bit in the major leagues, and he's there. He's nice to have there for depth, even for shortstop, and very valuable piece. Lucic Irsig is a AAA, like you mentioned, Troy Stokes. So that's all 5 guys in the top 10 that are sitting there at AAA and ready to help out. So that's exciting.
Yeah, very. And I know that, there have been some around the national media that have looked at the Brewer system and downgraded it maybe from where it was a couple of years ago. I think that's pretty natural for a team that graduates a lot of those players to the big league, like we did with, Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff and Freddie Peralta and others. And, of course, we've traded some guys as well, in the last couple of seasons to acquire guys at the deadline. So, but I still think that overall there's a lot of exciting names on this team that can really fit in well with the guys at the major league level that David Stearns has put together.
Yeah, it's really nice to see a organization that, look at how many times that our organization, we either had absolutely nothing at the major league level, or we, were contenders at the major league level, but in order to get there, we depleted a lot of our minor league talent. Right now, we have a really good mix of everything, so it's definitely an exciting time to be a Brewer fan.
Hey, so this is a question for the group. Do you guys have any guesses on when we're going to see Zach Brown make his big league debut? I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. I think that he's a guy who could be closer than not to making his big league debut, but love to get your guys' thoughts.
I definitely think it'll happen this year, but I would think probably September, just because of now adding Gio Gonzalez to our pitching depth. I don't feel, even if we're totally beset with rotation injuries, that we'd still have the depth to have enough guys there and play out front to not really rely on Zach Brown. But maybe he'll make a major league debut and be used out of the bullpen like Corbin Burns, so you never know.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. And I think there's probably a couple other arms down there that'll probably be in a similar type of situation. Of course, you got your guys who are more like major league vets who are now in AAA, guys like your Donnie Hart. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think that David Stearns and Craig Counsell have shown that they really take that kind of all hands on deck from the 40-man type of mentality, where they are constantly shuttling guys back and forth between San Antonio and Milwaukee. And, like I was saying earlier in the podcast, I definitely saw guys that were in Milwaukee the past week who were then, in AAA. And guys like Tyler Saladino got sent back to San Antonio since I've already been there 2 days ago. So, yeah, it's definitely interesting how the Brewers manage their roster. And I kind of think we're going to see more of these guys than not this season.
Absolutely. Well, guys, this is going to have to be a wrap for this episode, but definitely looking forward. I know that with the Brewers being World Playoff and World Series contenders at this point, I don't think casual fans are really focusing on their minor leagues at this point, like the Brew Review has done for a long time. But I think it's just important to know that we still have some depth there. And I say we still have a top 15 in overall farm system in baseball. So it's definitely a valuable thing to keep restocking every June.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we sign off, just wanted to thank our Twitter followers again. We gained quite a few new followers again this week. So please continue to follow us at Brew Crew Review 1 on Twitter, and continue sending your questions. We will get to them one of our next episodes here. Brew Crew Review Podcast with an S at gmail.com. And thank you to our interns for all the work that they've done this week. Scott, I don't know how you could have done it without the interns helping to prepare you.
Yeah, I don't know how either. They were just playing beer pong the entire time. So yeah, no, I'm really great job, guys. And actually, I do actually also want to throw out there really quick. Thank you to all those wonderful people that are following us and listening to this wonderful podcast. It's an absolute pleasure to bring this great information to you guys. Definitely hope that maybe we could get some 5-star reviews out of it, because when a podcast first starts off, those are very, very critical. So thank you guys. I saw that people are listening like all over the U.S. They're listening in the UK. They're listening in Mexico and Canada. Like, it's just awesome to see. Thank you guys.
Yeah, and that's not even counting Chad's followers in Japan. So when Chad's able to join us, I'm sure for our next podcast, I'm sure our audience in Japan will probably pick up then as well.
Yeah, very
awesome. All right, well, hopefully the Brewers take it to the Cubs this weekend at home at Miller Park. Fans get on out there and overtake Miller Park and send the Cubs fans back to Chicago with some tears in their eyes. So
sounds good, guys. Well, hey, let's give a go Brewers. Good,
all right,
good luck to the team this week. Stay classy, Wisconsin.
Go Brewers.